today's episode, we're talking to our first guest of the 7th season, Nathan Whitbread, otherwise known as the Neurodivergent Coach. We are discussing with Nathan the topic of neurodiversity in the workplace. So stay with us and enjoy.
The term neurodiversity, as I understand it, really means all of us, because we all think slightly differently, because of who we are. And you've got these other wonderful words like intersectionality, which is another sort of buzzword, but basically just means we're made up of all the bits. You know, it's our social economic background, our gender, our sexuality, our schooling, our last boss, possibly even the person we met on the way to this call has influenced somewhat. But that, you know, when you talk about neurodivergent, what we're saying is that some people think quite a bit differently to the so-called normality of the kind of population, which is a bell curve. And what normal is of course a big discussion, because actually I think we've all experienced that. I don't know where normal sits really. And they would describe or sometimes describe themselves as neurodivergent, and that typically incorporates some of the diagnosed conditions, so around autism, ADHD, dyspraxia, dyslexia, and there's quite a few of them, Tourette's, dyslexia, and many others. So my philosophy around this, and I know others sort of hold this, is that all these stuff, this labeling, I think it's a lens to look through, not a label to be worn. And I think that's really important in this space. And I know that's true for lots of things, but particularly in this space, because we've all got a view of what Bridget Jones is like, And Bridget Jones actually behaves a bit like someone who's got some dyspraxic traits. We've all got a view of what Dustin Hoffman was like in Rain Man. Who's got, and I can never remember the guy's name, but the guy that played the accountant, we've all got a view of what he was like.
Ben Affleck.
That's it,
Ben Affleck,
Believe it or not,
that
everyone on the
fantastic.
What he's saying, not everyone on the autistic spectrum behaves like that. They don't all have machine guns in their house, and they don't all work for the mafia as auditors. But those are stereotypes, however we choose to approach it, that we hold. And that is really important, I think. And there's something there about working out how to make life work in a work context. There's also a piece about leaders and teams in terms of how to embrace those things, because with all of these neurodivergent traits, there are strengths and there are difficulties. And the key thing, I think, is how do we help individuals and teams amplify their strengths and manage the things they find difficult? So what's more, it's so important that we focus on the individual and where they're at, and what's coming back to that kind of idea of intersectionality and who they are, you know, and what's going on for them, and asking them is so important. What's helpful? You could probably get a robot to do that job.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true, isn't it? You just go, there's the cookie cutter approach to leadership. We just plug you in and tell you what to do. Actually, but we're human, and we need to have human conversations, and we need to work it out, you know, and we have to keep working it out, because what's true today won't necessarily be true tomorrow.
You know,
no, absolutely. And we're all wonderfully made as well, which I think is the thing to never forget. You know?
Absolutely.